Right, at this point, this is exactly what your website should look like, because this is exactly what my website looks like. We just installed the free version of Customizer theme onto our copies of WordPress.org, and we can cross off the WordPress CMS install part, which was free and done with. And now, just to make sure that everyone's on exactly the same page, we're going to go back to our dashboard and talk about plugins. And we're going to remove the plugins and then install the right plugins for the website that we want to build. Our website requires specific plugins to beef it up and to superpower it. But before we do that, what are plugins? You might be wondering what we're plugging into the site. Well, to answer your question, we're plugging in different pieces of WordPress software that other people have built. Those other people are probably WordPress community members and entire companies, and the plugins are little pieces of code that add things to our WordPress site. They quote-unquote extend the functionality. So if we want to stop spam from coming in our comments, we get Akismet. That's a plugin to stop spam. And we actually want to activate it, so we click activate, and then it's good to go. If we wanted to change the way our images look, like make them slide back and forth in a gallery or make them pop out, there's a plugin for that. If you want to change how your links operate, there's a plugin for that too. If you want to quickly and easily create drag and drop forms, there's a plugin for that, which our theme came with, except for we don't want to use this one. And if you don't want to use a plugin, you can just deactivate it like that, and then we'll delete it. That's what plugins do. They add different things that you might want to do to WordPress, but by default, WordPress doesn't know you might want to do more things like add forms or, add image galleries or change your links or something like that. So it doesn't come with all the plugins. We instead have to find them by clicking add new or finding them in Google. For example, if I look up plugin to create WordPress image gallery and click enter, then we'll get a list of plugins that are made for just that. Usually the first one is good, and you can check how many installs it has and the ratings to know right away, and then you can check the other details and you can see if it actually does what you want it to do. Of course, you can always ask me for a plugin recommendation on whatever weird or interesting things you want to do to your WordPress site, because I've used hundreds of them. If your WordPress site is a hamburger, think of the plugins like pickles, tomatoes, mustard, cheese, and special sauce. Some of them we want, and some of them we just don't want, and maybe some of them we want later. For the time being, I'm going to deactivate most of these plugins, alright? And then once we deactivate a plugin, we want to delete it because it takes up space on our site and can slow things down. So we're going to deactivate Mojo because we don't want their content now, and we're going to deactivate Ninja Forms as well. Never seen that before. We're just going to skip it because we don't have time to give them feedback. And now I'm just going to select 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to leave Hello Dolly because that's just a simple plugin created by the founder of WordPress, Matt Mullenweg, and anything he makes is golden. So we're going to keep that one. And now just choose delete from our upper menu and apply. You have to first deactivate a plugin to delete it, and then once you do so, you'll get this message: are you sure you wish to delete these files and data? Yes, we are sure. And again, that way we're all on the same page. We all have the exact same plugins installed, and we're going to make the same exact website, which will be amazing. Make sure to activate Hello Dolly, and all this really does is just put a quote in the upper right corner from some famous song or another. Now the fun part, where we add new plugins to make our site more powerful and to do what we want eventually. So click that add new button, and in the search bar type in Black Studio and click enter. Alright, and the first plugin we want to install now is called Black Studio Tiny MCE Widget, which gives us a Microsoft Word-esque visual editor in more places than you could even imagine. So it makes it easier to write in and style content. Another way to know a plugin is good is if they've made multiple plugins, and a lot of people have installed several other plugins like this one and this one. So let's just install now and activate, and look forward to using that one pretty soon. The next plugin will add a photo gallery wherever we want, like in blog posts and pages. Search for next gen, one word, gallery, and click enter. And that didn't work because we were searching installed plugins, and that's not available. What we have to do is click add new again, and now do that search, next gen gallery. So my mistake. That's how we have to add plugins, by going to the add new section. Alright, here's our plugin. It's obviously great with 1 million plus active installs at this very moment. Install now. Activate plugin. I'm not sure why it only had 3 stars reviewed, because this is a really good plugin. And back to add new. And now we're going to install one of my favorite plugins that helps us build pages with a drag and drop feature. And it's just called Page Builder, as you might guess. Of course, there's a lot of page builders because WordPress is so widely popular now. And the one we want is by Site Origin, a really nice company that I've used and featured in past demos. Install now, Page Builder by Site Origin, activate, and we're done with this one. We also want a plugin called WP Insert Code, so add new, WP Insert Code. And I really do vet these plugins personally. We're not just installing any other plugin. I've had to do that on my own and test them to see if they work, so you can trust my research. Install now on this pinkish magenta one, activate. Great job. And the last plugin, click add new, search for WP ShowHide, which might be tricky to find, but it actually got it right away. It's this one right here with the arrow, and it's this one right here with the triangle. Install now, activate, and this will let us create cool show and hide buttons for content in our posts and pages. Alright guys, we're going to do one last plugin, add new, and we're going to install a plugin that makes our pages and our whole site load faster when people visit it. There's a few good plugins for this, but I like WP Super Cache. WP Super Cache. There she is. Click install now. Activate. And this plugin is pretty unique actually. When it's activated, it can make our site so fast that it shows versions of the site that we don't want. Sometimes it goes so fast that it doesn't see the changes we make. So for now, we want to deactivate this, and when we're ready to launch, we'll activate it. And then when we want to make edits to our site, we should deactivate that one. Alright, I hope you now know what a plugin is and what plugins do for WordPress. We're going to use them as we build our site, but now that we've installed all of them, we won't have to go back to this section. We can just use them out of the box. It's going to be a lot of fun. And next, we're going to create the different pages on your website.